What's up, guys? Welcome back to TFD, your home for all things hoops and headline talk. And today, we've got some real tea coming out of Indiana. Sophie Cunningham, he's raising eyebrows after her recent podcast episode, and from the sound of it, she might be eyeing a move away from the Fever. Yeah, you heard that right. Sophie's comments have fans wondering if her heart is still in Indy or if she's already thinking about her next stop. Let's dive in, because this one deserves a real conversation. So here's the deal. Sophie went on her podcast and opened up about wanting stability, and I respect that. She said she's at the point in her career where she wants to buy a home in her next city, really put down roots, and not feel like she's just living out of a suitcase during the off-season. Totally fair, right? But here's where things get interesting. She also mentioned that to make that dream happen, she's gonna need a bigger contract. And if we're being honest, that might not line up with what Indiana can or should offer right now. Now, don't get me wrong, I love me some Sophie Cunningham. She's fiery, she's competitive, and she's exactly the kind of player every team wants in their locker room. She brings energy, toughness, and swagger every time she steps on the floor. But if she's looking for a major payday, that could put the Fever in a tough spot, especially with Caitlin Clark already being the franchise centerpiece and other key players like Aaliyah Boston and Nalissa Smith needing their share of the pie too. Let's keep it real for a second. Sophie absolutely boosted her market value this past season. Between her play, her leadership, and her growing brand, she's gonna have suitors. Teams like Phoenix, Dallas, or even Las Vegas could come calling if they think she's the missing piece to their roster. That's why the situation matters for Indiana, because if Sophie walks, it's not just about losing her on the court, it's about losing that chemistry and edge she brings. Now, the big question, is Sophie Cunningham worth a max deal? I'm not so sure. Don't get me wrong, she's a difference maker, but a max deal? That's a lot to commit, especially for a team that's still building around Caitlin Clark. Indiana's front office is going to have to think long-term here, keep the core intact, add pieces strategically, and make sure every move complements Caitlin's style and leadership. So yeah, Sophie's comments might sound a little unsettling, but let's not overreact. This doesn't mean she's gone, it just means she knows her worth and she's thinking about her future beyond basketball. Can't hate on that. Still, if you ask me, I'd love to see Indiana find a way to keep her. She fits the culture, she pushes the tempo, and she's part of that gritty Fever identity. But hey, business is business. If she does move on, the Fever will have to find another spark plug to match her fire. Let me know what you guys think. Should Indiana open the wallet for Sophie or play it smart and save cap space for future stars?
It was, they were impressive. Like just how fast they got stuff done. I was like, wow.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, guys.
Yeah. Good vibes.
Obviously, the art is all off your walls. Those are looking pretty naked.
Yeah. I have barely anywhere to do anything. So I'm trying to get organized.
Are you mourning, like, leaving that apartment?
Honestly, kind of sad. It's like leaving a little era. And like the house I had, but it was so cute and I made it really homey and cozy. Spent way too much money like furnishing it. And then like...
You can't spend too much money making your apartment feel like home. Don't ever feel bad for like investing into your like space.
Yeah, Wes, I would agree with you. But then a week and a half later, I got told I was being traded. And so...
That part's tough. That part.
Yeah. Spent a lot of money.
I should say if you're a pro athlete... If you're a pro athlete, actually do not decorate your house until you have a fucking 3-year contract in front of you. Then you can.
Just don't buy one. So, but I do think I did buy all of it, and I love it. And I think the next team I play for, I want a bigger contract, so then I can buy a house and be homey and cozy.
Fuck yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. That could be the Liberty. It could be New York City. It could also be the Lynx, and it could be Minneapolis. Like, you just don't know. It
could be anywhere.
The 30-day extensions for the CBAs. Any thoughts?
So I actually learned a lot because we've been having CPA calls. I know it's actually very intriguing. Like, I love the business side of things, but when you don't know, you don't know. So I thought that if we didn't have a agreement by the 31st, then it was a lockout. But that's not true. So you can, if both sides are continuing to negotiate and trying to come up with something, then you're not in a lockout. But once one side kind of stops or like just meh, that's when the lockout happens. So that's news to me.
Okay. Good note.
Yeah.
And something to learn.
Yeah. But it's been very fascinating, just like the ins and outs of the negotiation conversations, what they're doing, what they're not doing, what we're doing, what we're not doing. Like, it's been kind of cool just to like sit back and listen. So,
guys, did everyone hear that? Sophie Cunningham just said it's nice to sit back and listen.
That's a fair point, man. I just don't think it's a great idea for any of these players to buy a house right now. You can get traded, you can ask to be moved. Things change fast in this league. So yeah, I understand Sophie Cunningham wanting to buy a house wherever she ends up next year, but I don't think it's smart just yet. Now, let's get real for a second. Is Sophie Cunningham worth a max contract? I know a lot of people love Sophie, and trust me, I do too. She's the one who stood up for Caitlin Clark when others wouldn't. She was down to fight, down to defend her teammate, and that earns respect. So I'm not mad at Sophie wanting to get paid, but the question is she worth that kind of money? During her exit interview, Sophie said something interesting. She said, "I might be blonde, but I'm not dumb. I'm going to listen to every offer on the table." That tells me she knows she's got options, and she absolutely will. Teams are going to want her energy, her toughness, her leadership. But Sophie, I just hope you don't overvalue your market. I'm keeping it real. I don't believe Sophie Cunningham is worth a max contract. She deserves good money, no doubt. She's earned that. But max? That's for the stars. Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark, Paige Buckers, Alicia Gray, those are your max level players. Sophie's not quite there yet. If she's asking for a max and the Fever say no, I can't even be mad at them for moving on. You've got to build smart. You can't give away max money to role players no matter how much heart they bring. And honestly, I think Lexi Hull deserves to be in that same pay conversation. She works hard, she contributes, she's growing. But max deals? Nah, not yet. Now, with that being said, I do think Sophie will be back with the Indiana Fever. She knows her best opportunities on and off the court come from being next to Caitlin Clark. Look at how much her profile has exploded since joining Indiana. She's on Good Morning America, she's got Arby's ads, she's interviewing celebrities, she's trending on social media. She wasn't doing all that with the Phoenix Mercury, let's be honest. When you play alongside Caitlin Clark, your brand skyrockets. Sophie went from being a solid WNBA player to being a household name. She gained like 1 million followers in just weeks after joining Caitlin's team. That's not a coincidence. She's smart enough to know that her exposure, her sponsorships, her fame, they're all tied to being part of this Fever core. So yeah, she might flirt with other offers, but she knows Indiana is where the magic is happening. This is where her value is highest. And with Coach Stephanie White leading the team and Caitlin Clark turning into the face of the league, Sophie would be crazy not to stick around. Now, let's talk about the money part. I want Sophie back, but on a reasonable deal. The Fever needs her grit and personality, but not at a price that hurts the team long term. She should understand that being part of the Caitlin Clark era brings perks that no contract can match. Media spotlight, brand deals, endorsement money, recognition. Sophie, let's be real. You wouldn't have been on Good Morning America or landing these sponsorships if you were still in Phoenix or Minnesota. You know what time it is. As for the league, the WNBA is in a pivotal moment. The CBA negotiations just got a 30-day extension, and while some fear a lockout, I don't believe it'll happen. These women know how big this moment is. The league is growing faster than ever thanks to players like Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and yes, Sophie Cunningham. It would be insane to stop that momentum now. At the end of the day, it's all business. Players want their bag, teams want flexibility, and fans just want the best basketball possible. So I'll say this, Sophie Cunningham deserves respect, she deserves to be paid fairly, but let's not get wild with max deals. Keep it real, keep it smart, and keep it Fever. Now, I want to know what y'all think. Should the Fever give Sophie a big deal or let her test the market? Drop your thoughts below, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe.